So over the past few years, there's been this controversy about TB Joshua, with the church being divided as to who he really is. From Hubert's Angel,
you can move around. TB Joshua was not in this one. TB Joshua. If you have never won souls like that man, shut up. I saw get enraged by little non-entities. Nincompoop.
to Lovey Elias.
As I was speaking about Prophet TB Joshua, who is a great man of God, who is in the presence of God. Great man of God. See, the problem is many operate with what she say, he say, who said this. TB Joshua will always be the greatest prophet of his time. 100%. And somebody has to be out of their mind to say otherwise.
And finally to Arome Osayi, the man who started it all.
Before you call somebody a prophet, we should be able to ask you. You are not a prophet except you have sat there for 10 years, minimum. We need to ask, who did TB Joshua grow under? You know, because he did not come from the church. It's people that stayed in Lagos earlier, in Lagos, you will know how he came. They used to sacrifice at the back beach, chicken and animals.
But then all the burning questions surrounding the calling of TB Joshua be partially answered in a documentary due to the many backlashes over the years surrounding his call.
Who is TB Joshua and the Synagogue Church of All Nations? A lot has been said by people concerning how the church synagogue came into being. Some people questioned my foundation, my mentor, my educational background, and my calling as a man of God. I am not showing this documentary because people questioned my foundation, my background, my mentor, my educational background, my calling as a man of God. I am showing this because it is God's time. That is, it is act of God.
Now the documentary was supposed to answer the following questions, but in the process brought more questions instead of answers, with here being a summary of the 46 minutes documentary. So the story began with TB Joshua, who claimed the Spirit of the Lord led him to a 40 days and night fast, and in a 3-day period, God spoke to him in a trance and anointed him to start a church. A ministry he went ahead to establish in 1989, at this point answering the question of his calling, which was that he was called and anointed by God himself. Now what followed next was the question, who was his spiritual father or mentor? Because physically he had none, despite claiming it was in the documentary, which it was not. And the last time I heard from Duncan Williams, David Oyedepo and Pastor Chris, they all claimed it's very necessary to have a spiritual father, or your calling is to be questioned.
I know where I came from. I am the spiritual son of Benson Idahosa of blessed memory, the son of T.L. Osmond and Papa Elton. Who are you? God, that's my spiritual father. Who are you and where did you come from? Who is your father? Who laid hands upon you? Timothy, son of Paul, Apostle Paul. Check the scriptures. Jesus was of the tribe of Judah. Moses, the tribe of Levi. Paul, the tribe of Benjamin. David, the tribe of Judah. What tribe are you from? Where did you come from? Don't talk to me about how successful you are. Tell me your spiritual DNA and lineage, and I can predict your future.
Now the documentary further moved on to state how he struggled, cleaning washrooms and chairs, which I would say was very humble of him. And that was the story, with most of it being this pathetic story of his humility till he got a bigger church. This then brought more questions, since even his first spiritual son came out saying he was a soothsayer, followed by Bisola, who said he was a Muslim in upbringing to the point of even bearing a Muslim name, putting up another question of when he got born again. And to the same topic of being born again, which Arome Osayi claims he said he was born again in his mother's womb. How true is this? Since the only way a man can be born again is by confession.
He got born again. His experience of salvation is that he got born again in his mother's womb. My God.
And as for Pastor Chris and Ben-Hinn, well, they've not spoken about him again since he met him at the Healing Crusade for Pastor Chris and an interview for Ben-Hinn. Now, TB Joshua is dead, and the only reason for this discussion is because his church is still alive. And for other reasons, some I'll say do it for clout, and others I'll say speak out of experience of knowing and working with him. And for Arome Osayi, what he saw in the realms. So up to this point, I think until these questions are answered, the generation will still continue to ask questions that will be unanswered till we meet in heaven. But for now, TB Joshua is winning the war and having the upper hand here, with more prophets and apostles supporting him than ever, with Arome Osayi also defending his stance. But was TB Joshua really a man of God? Only time will tell what happens.